What's up, world? Welcome to a new episode of the Brandon Janeau Show. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always, go follow me on social media, Brandon Janeau Show, Instagram and TikTok. Also, Brandon Janeau Show is the YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody that's been commenting, reviewing. Got a lot of likes last night on this upcoming episode that's dropping tomorrow night. Um, and hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out. Good Kid, Mad City versus Damn Kendrick Lamar. It's Life and Times of Music. Uh, so so I was thinking about this a little bit. Also, that is the YouTube channel. That is the social media Brandon Janeau Show on Instagram and TikTok, and also all podcast platforms everywhere as the Brandon Janeau Show. And I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So tonight's episode is wrestling life. So I was thinking, because I did this list earlier this year. I can't remember who else I had on this list, but I remember I had some AEW guys and some WWE guys. So I'm doing the top 10 wrestlers of 2022 is what I'm talking about. And and I said earlier today why I'm starting to like do a lot more podcasts this next couple of weeks is because the app I use for the podcast is kind of being like it's gonna be a little slower these next couple of weeks because of Christmas and New Year's. So they're not gonna be pretty much pumping these episodes out like they have. So uh I might have to wait on certain things or certain situations. But I decided to just work my ass off these next couple of days because I got nothing to do. So literally. So um so I was thinking maybe I do my top 10 list, the entire top 10 list tonight, and and then maybe I break down why these guys are my top 10 list as I progress through this episode. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because then I was thinking just a moment ago about before I hit the record button was maybe I should just do one name a night and then, you know, but that'd be, well, I could do that because I'm going to have the house to myself the next couple of days. So I could actually do that. And then it'd be flooded with a bunch of Wrestling Life podcast episodes. I don't want to do that either, where that'd be wasting my episodes on just one topic. But you know what? I am gonna do it like that. Screw it. I am gonna do it like that. So yeah. So this episode is gonna be I'm gonna knock down two wrestlers tonight and talk about why they're 9 and 10 to me of the wrestlers this year. So and before I get into it, it's all WWE wrestlers. So I'm not doing AEW wrestlers this year, this list particularly, but there are a lot of great AEW wrestlers that have had some amazing performances this year. MJF, of course, is the AEW champion right now. I'm very proud, man. The dude's killing it in AEW. I really want to see what he will do in 2024. I don't know because the rumor is that he hasn't really signed a deal with AEW to go back yet. So he might actually end up a free agent in 2024. So we don't know with that situation. Brian Danielson, of course, shout out to Brian Danielson, shout out to Chris Jericho, who's still doing it at 50 something years old. Sting is still going at it. Darby Allin, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. I know there's this problem that's been going on. I mean, Kenny Omega just came back, but the Young Bucks been killing it for the last couple of years, and this year particularly. Um, who else? Before he fucked up his own shit, CM Punk, he was killing it. John Moxley for AEW. Definitely shout out to all you uh, amazing wrestlers over there, man. Who else? Uh, Jada Cargill. Shout out to you. She's killing it in AEW as well. This list is open to everybody, man. So shout out to her. She's killing it in AEW. She could have been on this list. I definitely would have put her on this list. But yeah, shout out to all the AEW girls and guys that are honorable mentions, and some WWE people that also are honorable mentions that did not make this list because to me, I felt like either you had a really good start but not a great finish, or you had a really good middle and maybe a little bit of the end, but you just didn't have a full body of work that I feel like was really like, okay, this is really good. So I'm going off of just the people I really do think did a really good job. So this year, um, so shout out to Drew McIntyre. He didn't make the list. If his reign, I think Drew this year was really good, but I think he had too many starts and stops. To be honest, he should have been the first person to fall Roman Reigns after Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash, but I will be talking about soon because that would be one of, I'm not gonna say that's one of my top 10 wrestling matches of the year because I don't know really until I look at all of the matches that I get a chance to really watch. One thing about me, I don't like doing top tens, and I like to put extra matches, the same people in the same match. Even if the matches are really fucking good, I want to debate which one was better. Um, so shout out to Drew McIntyre. Um, Randy Orton. I wish if he didn't get injured, he would have been on my top 10 because he would have done some things that probably would have been great. Sheamus, he caught the back end. He got hot at the back end. I think that's starting to fuck up his run, though. I think he should have been a one in front of Roman Reigns first and not Kevin Owens. That's just me personally. Um, but yeah, man, there's a lot of more people. AJ Styles. AJ Styles kind of has been in and out the superstar status, and he's kind of been in and out. So I don't know really what to do with him. But yeah, Austin Theory. Even though he's not on this list, I have to give him a shout out. I think the reboot with Triple H is actually a better look for him and a better help for his career. Um, Bobby Lashley, same. You know, yeah, it's a couple of people, man. So, but this list, I'm not gonna sit here and say everybody has to have a better, had to have a really consistent run this year because that's not what this list is gonna be. But you had to have had something at some point in this that made me feel like, okay, you kind of were still in the conversation at some point, even though Austin Theory was in the conversation. I just didn't like him with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I think it kind of held up his progression in the company with it. But that's neither here nor there. Now let's get into the top 10 of this. Like I said tonight, I'm doing 10 and 9, the 10 and 9 wrestlers of this year to me. And tomorrow, hopefully, I get to 8 and 7. Monday will be 6 and 5, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever I do this, probably will be 4, 3, and 2, and 1 in the next couple of days. One probably have just his own special show or their own special show. So yeah, so let's get into it. Number 10 on the list for this year, wrestling wise. Number 10, so I don't like this faction in WWE. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this faction at all. But they have two people that I do believe has had a really good impact this year. Um, and earlier I thought of one, and I just realized the other one is just as impactful and just as great. Um, so honorable mention to Finn Balor. I'll put Rhea Ripley at number 10. I think she's going to be the hottest attraction in 2023. Uh, for the most part, she's had a pretty good year. Going back to WrestleMania Backlash, shit, even going back to WrestleMania. I mean, she teamed up with, I forgot, Nikki Cross, I think, around that time. And she teamed up with Nikki Cross I think they were tag team champions, as a matter of fact, at some point. And they teamed up at WrestleMania and fought, and they lost the titles, of course. But uh, after that, WrestleMania Backlash, that's when she joined Judgment Day with Edge at the helm still. But then I felt like she just got going, man. After they got Finn in there, and now she won a chance to fight Bianca Belair Money in the Bank, but that was kind of taken away from her because of health concerns. And now she's back to being one of the hottest fucking wrestlers in the company. So I think if she continues to be this, and I'm one of the rare few that said from the moment she stepped into 2022, well, the last couple months, I've said she needs to win Royal Rumble. If she doesn't win the Women's Royal Rumble, what the fuck is the point of having her have this hot ass streak and not face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania? So I would love to see them two fight at WrestleMania, and I think that is a perfect person to put at number 10. I think Rhea has had an incredible year, and I think from the beginning to right now, she's having an incredible year. So Rhea Ripley is definitely number 10 on my list. She is definitely there. Like I said, shout out to Finn Balor. Finn Balor's had a great year, um, especially when he got into the Judgment Day. But I feel like he, out of everybody, has kind of the Judgment Day faction is kind of starting to stop. But Rhea's had more of the impact because every time they have had a good situation, she's been the one that's kind of giving them that umph. So Rhea is definitely number 10 on my list, and I think she would definitely do more action going forward in 2023. I think she's gonna win the Royal Rumble. I think she's actually gonna beat Bianca at WrestleMania, and she's gonna be the women's champion. So yeah, which will make it interesting because then it's kind of like she's bigger than Judgment Day. So what do you do? Number 9 on this list is Matt Riddle. I gotta give it to Matt Riddle, man. I'm sorry to bust a lot of people's bubble, but Matt Riddle is number 9 on this list, man. To me, the reason why I'm giving it to Matt Riddle is because, like I just said, the beginning of the year, for the most part, the RK Bro, I should say, like I just said, Randy Orton, honorable mention, Matt Riddle and RK Bro held his own. He kind of got his career really to another level when he really teamed up with Randy Orton. He became such a synonymous um, guy when he teamed up with Randy Orton. For the most part, I think for what he has accomplished in this year particularly. I mean, the match at WrestleMania with the Street Profits and Alpha Academy and RK Bro for the Raw Tag Team titles. I mean, him hitting the RKO off the top rope on Montez Ford was just incredible. Even when they lost their titles to the Usos and they became the undisputed champions, tag team champions, he went on and had a pretty good rivalry with Roman Reigns for a little bit of that time in the summer. I think that if they would have kept that going, he probably would have had a bigger impact in the year. Now, of course, his storyline would evolve into something else with Seth Rollins, which is one of the reasons why he's also on this list. Because even though the matches sometimes, I think it is how I feel about that. I think the pay per view matches kind of got overproduction, overly done, and it should have never been that way because when they fought on Raw, they were way more competitive. This shit was way more important. It felt like they were fighting for something, especially when Seth became United States champion and he fought Matt Riddle the next Monday after he won it. Like it felt like them two like actually really did have chemistry, but when they put them in like excuse me, like pay per views, I think they over fucking did it. The promos between these two men were incredible. You finally saw Matt Riddle actually step out of that bro shit. It was kind of like a real like yo, like you talk about my family's gonna be on and popping. Like I don't like, and I think that was the thing about this rivalry that I love so much. Recently, they kind of don't know what the fuck they're doing with the dude. They put him with Elias that just returned, and I don't know if they really know what they want to do with Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle was one of my people that I thought going into the 2023 Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if he did win, but now that he's had this kind of like back in a shuffle kind of feel, I think what would help Matt Riddle is going to SmackDown because I think if he went to SmackDown and not Raw, even though he has an over the top personality, that shit will work with SmackDown. But also he's a beast in the ring. He's a fucking monster in the ring, and I think if you put him on SmackDown, you would actually get a chance to physically see it. Because he'll be still jokey playing, but SmackDown feels a little different. SmackDown feels like the land of opportunities, and depending on what they particularly do with the titles at WrestleMania and after WrestleMania, and then there's a draft coming up, they're going to have somebody to go to SmackDown that can kind of provide that entertainment, but also like I said, when the bell rings, he's fucking in. Let's go. And I think he's done enough on Raw. He's not. There's nothing left for him to do on Raw. And if the Bloodline is going to go back to SmackDown, you need somebody that could go there and right out the gate challenge Roman Reigns for a title match. And I think Matt Riddle fits that profile to a T. Um, because even though he technically we can't fight Roman against as his champion, should the rules change if he's not universal undisputed champion? Then it's a different conversation. And I think if that's a different conversation, I think Matt Riddle should be the first person in line if he does get drafted to SmackDown to fight Roman Reigns. All in all, these first two, Matt Riddle and Rhea Ripley, I think 2023 we're gonna see a lot of differences from these two. Rhea Ripley, particularly, does she now jump the line and become kind of like the leader of the Judgment Day because out of everybody, she's the one that's actually winning, and she actually has a title because I think she's gonna win at WrestleMania and beat Bianca. But Matt Riddle is he going to finally drop the goofy comedy guy gimmick if he gets drafted to SmackDown? Because if that's so, he's going to have to really tap in to his inner Randy Orton. Yeah, like, and I think these two going into 2023, even though 2022 Rhea had a health problem, Matt Riddle right now is in a really unknown state in the WWE when it comes to a lot of this shit. And he's now having kind of like a feud with the Bloodline. Still, he's still got like a little bit of a feud with the Bloodline because now he's, like I said, with Elias and have fighting the Usos for the titles going into next Monday. But this is the two I think going into 2023. I see the most changes going forward for, and that is also why I picked them for 2022 because they are the best two people to start this list off with. Rhea Ripley has been hot for a good bit. She's had championship goal in 2022. She just lost it this joined Judgment Day, and they didn't know what the fuck they were doing with that faction until Triple H took over, and then they feel like they now finally got their legs under them. Rhea is literally the biggest draw for women right now on Raw. Now, if she also goes to SmackDown and fight Ronda Rousey too, I would not be mad at that match either. I think if you put Charlotte versus Bianca at WrestleMania and then Rhea versus Ronda at WrestleMania, I would be like, yo, that is the match that I don't think Ronda should ever win in history because Rhea is so hot and people really just don't fuck with Ronda. So it would be you would kill two birds with one stone. You'll give Rhea a title, and she's the hottest thing, and you will also help that SmackDown Women's division because you will have somebody like a Rhea Ripley running it. So, and it would make them have to step up their game to come up to our level. And then Matt Riddle, I don't know what's going to happen with Randy Orton, but until he's gone, until he comes back, there's no real reason to not push this kid into another storyline that really actually makes sense. If that's the Bloodline storyline after the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn shit happens, Matt Riddle fits that perfectly because then you would have to start other people's storylines with, excuse me, with the Bloodline. I'm tired of seeing Drew. I would love to see Sheamus and Roman, but I'm tired of seeing Drew get that shot. I think Matt Riddle would be a perfect person to move to SmackDown and have him have a real rivalry with Roman Reigns that would at least go past WrestleMania Backlash and maybe even the pay per view after that. So I would love to see those two just take over 2023 because they did so well in 2022. Matt Riddle definitely shined the most in 2022 under Randy Orton. Then when after Randy left for a little bit, he had that. He showed you he has that intensity, that charisma to really take over. And then Rhea is just a fucking monster. She's incredible at what she does. She was pegged to be the next big star, the next big female wrestler, and then she went to the main roster, and then fucking shit went to flat because of Vince McMahon. He don't know what to fucking do with people like that. So I think these two are definitely going to be the two that's going to take over in 2023 because they had such a crazy 2022, and it's going to continue in 2023. Like I said, tomorrow night I'll be doing 7 and 8 wrestlers of this top 10 2022 edition. So until then, hope you guys enjoy this when it comes out. Peace.